snow drizzles last night that we had, and our chilly in the teens it was this morning. Um, so there was also a birthday this week, so a little belated, but happy birthday to you, Kim, and had a fabulous day. This evening, ending the month with me again, Cindy Lee is back with me, and this evening we are going to be talking about totems and answer all of your questions about that. For those tuning in and seeing Cindy for the first time this evening, I'll give a brief rundown, a little bit about her. She is Native American, and it is the mey-tee that is the group the Native American she's with, and follows their traditions. She became aware of her abilities at the age of 3, and she gets it from both sides of her family, and it goes back that it's been able to be traced for 6 generations. I want to welcome Cindy back. Cindy, hi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back. You have so many topics of interest that I just have to keep bringing you back on because an hour's not enough to touch on everything.
We always run out of time, don't we?
We do. And I love the Native American and everything with that. I've always been fascinated and interested in the different pictures and things that you run across have always been of interest and appealed to me. We are going to be touching tonight on animal totems. So to start off with a first question about that, is that something that came from the Native Americans? And it has just, you hear more and more people discussing all the time animal totems, what their main totem animal is, things like that. But did that whole thing originally from the Native Americans, Cindy Lee?
It became popular due to the interest in the Native Americans. But each continent had their own indigenous people, and each continent had their own totems. The Celtics, they had their totems and their totems also included the mythical beings, which probably were not mythical 100% of the time. They may be now, but I don't think they were when they first became totems. Africa has their own totems. They have the gorilla, the elephant. Those are different than what we have. And South America has others also. I find it very interesting that at this point in time, the totems are starting to cross the oceans, and you will find people in the United States that have totems of, say, monkey or elephant, and you will find those in Africa having those indigenous to North America. Like Africa might have a water buffalo, but yet their totem may be a bison that comes from North America. Interesting enough, they do cross in their spiritual awareness, their spiritual powers. They are quite similar.
See, and I know, me personally, I never looked at it as specific animals depending on location.
Right.
Animals are animals. I never looked at it as specific ones for a specific area. So that's an interesting point that you're mentioning.
Well, let's consider 400 years ago, and the average Native American had no clue there were gorillas. So they would not know unless that animal came from spirit totally, but he would not know what to call him.
Right.
Now, I have this great big human-like hairy thing that knuckles drag the ground. I mean, not really something that they had a name for.
Right, right.
And I'm sure that goes for the other continents also.
Right, right. Now, what is the now? What I have always heard is we have a main. We all have a main animal totem.
Yes.
But we have different ones that show up based on what we need at the time. How does that work?
Totems work a lot like your basic guides, your spirit guides. You as a reader, as a card reader, have a spiritual guide that comes in and assists you on reading your cards. All right, a totem will come in and say you're at a point in your life where you really need to reinvent yourself. You know, you're stepping out of say a divorce or a bad marriage, so you need to rebuild your self-esteem. This animal, snake, is all about transformation. So this animal might play a big part in your life at this time. Yet, when you start to manifest a new job, buffalo might come in because that is all about abundance.
See, when I think of the example you gave for snake,
yes.
When I think of snake, and a lot of people I know think of snakes, you think of betrayal. Somebody's lying to you're not in the form that you're describing it.
Right. I'm describing it in what we call the in the cards, you would call it the upright position. What you're describing is the contrary, or the upside down position.
And also, I think maybe, possibly, from, growing up with religion classes, the Catholic Church, the Lutheran Church, the Garden of Eden, the snake, with Adam and Eve, the betrayal and telling tales. I think possibly that's where that comes from for a lot of people, where snakes is, like a taboo.
Oh, very much so. But coming from a native point of view, where this is and this is how we teach, we don't view it as being one of betrayal until it shows up contrary. Most of the time we focus on the positive attributes of each of the animals. Your okay, like the dolphin would be about joy, about stepping it up spiritually, being more open to what the universe has to say. Whales are known to be the record keeper. They're like they're one of the older living beings before they transition. Some of them are a ripe old age. And they are known as the record keepers. So if you have whale that comes to you, it's asking you to take a look at your Akashic records. You know, what is your life purpose? What are you really doing here?
Right. Now, how does one go about determining their totem, main totem?
In a tribal setting, they would take an offering to their holy person and ask for a trip to visit their totems. This would be done through ceremony. Not necessarily a tripping ceremony, but one where you go and you work together to bring forth that particular totem. With so many people talking about, oh, my totem is this or my totem is that, usually what they're talking about is this is an animal that shows up a lot for them. No matter where they're at, the red-tailed hawk is there looking or watching over them. You know, they go to grandma's, they see the red-tailed hawk 6, 7, 8 times. And hawk is a messenger. He's asking you to start listening to spirit, so that you will know and be able to tell from your gut what the right thing for you to do is. Maybe everywhere you go you see owls. Now, if you're on the east side of the Mississippi, your interpretation will be different than if you're on the west side of the Mississippi River. The Eastern Woodland Indians saw it as a sign for the deception, to watch your back because someone's trying to sneak up on you silently. On the western side of the Mississippi, it's going to be about death, the owl calling your name, and no one wants to deal with the owl because that is the end of times. Let's see, what else? The hummingbird is all about joy.
Is there a specific animal, Cindy Lee, that tends to be more common?
At this point in time, it's the wolf. The wolf has been predominant, I would say, for the last 20 years. There are a lot of spiritual teachers coming forth, and there's a lot of spiritual learning coming forth. I mean, even though we might be considered a teacher by some folks, at the same time, you and I are still learning. So the wolf is there as the teacher, as the representation of the teacher. I personally do not have wolf, but I do know that when I started my path, he or she was there. And that was about 18 years ago when I started teaching. when I became confident in my role as a teacher, he faded and a snake came about. And then I started seeing myself transform and become better, teaching different. And it's not always the same snake. When I first started, it was a rattlesnake. I had problems with that one.
Rattlesnake.
A rattlesnake, yes, no, we can't creepy crawlers. So, and then and then a viper showed up, and it was like, ooh, what are you trying to tell me? Because again, I thought contrary instead of being able to take it and transmute it. And both of these totems, even though they were with me a short time, was all about transmuting the energy into other things. I should think of another animal that transmuted, but I'm drawing a blank.
That's okay. I knew somebody that whenever she was upset, something traumatic going on, or in danger, needing help, her totem would be seen by either close family members or a close friend, whoever might be available or nearby, to pick up the phone and call or actually show up at her home. What is that about?
That's like the cognitive. A spirit, her phone was helping her, like your spirit people help you. It was just something that she was able to accept, and therefore it made it easy for her.
Okay, so for something like that happen, did she call it and send it, or would the animal totem go off its own?
I have a very dear friend. Her totem will get me. I also know that I have family members who are in need of healing. I have a specific guide that will show up, because it's like, listen, you need to pay attention, you need to do this. So I say whether or not sending, or if her guy was just knew that he needed to go do this.
Right. What about a psychic being able to tell you what your totem is? Or is this something where each individual person needs to make contact and find out on their own?
I think a psychic can tell you. I also think that you, as a client, needs to go and check it out for yourself. Mm-hmm. There are many psychics who proclaim to be able to tell you who your animal totem is and don't have a clue. But because wolf is prevalent, buffalo is prevalent, often one of these through a psychic who is grasping or is like immature psychic. Okay. Develop their I do believe that someone could come to you and you would be able to tell them. If you saw them, I believe you would be able to tell them. I would at that point in time suggest that they meditate on it and make sure that it resonated with them. Totems are sometimes sneaky. They don't want to be seen, because if I would say, oh, Misha, I see that you have a beagle with you, and your beagle is your totem. Okay, now, number one, I know that if I sent a rattlesnake, a contrary rattlesnake, a contrary grizzly or Kodiak, I like your totem and create all kinds of havoc for you. Totems don't want to be known. They want to remain silent. They want to remain helpful. That, of course, is my native teachings, and somebody else may believe something totally different.
When you were on last month and we were touching on this before running out of time, that was what you had touched on.
Mm-hmm.
Which I found fascinating because I never thought of that before.
Being a magical person, you know, we don't want to think of bad things or people encroaching upon us spiritual energy. But there are those immature people who think that they can gain power, they can gain our power by doing, you know, obnoxious stuff. Do they gain our power? No. Do they create problems for us? At times. But again, it's because they haven't had anyone teach to make their spirituality a win-win situation. You know, there have those that say, oh, but don't you have this obnoxious person at work and make it a win situation because you don't. You just don't know her. She's obnoxious. She's a pain in your dead air, and you wish she was fired. I tell you to love a person all I want, but I'm not telling you how to turn it into a win-win situation.
Right.
And so when you take things into your own hands and you, what I call, manipulate in a unhealthy way, that, or what some people call black magic.
Right. And karma's a bitch.
Yes, it is big time. But the way you go about that, I'll touch on this real quick, is you ask for them, I know it sounds atrocious, but you ask for them to get a better job outside the company. Okay, it's win-win for you. They leave. They didn't get fired. They go to a job that they think is better than the one they had. You don't go, and that's how you send love.
And people, there are those out there that
Mm-hmm.
Some will do it themselves. Others supply the guidelines, and the person asking for it to be done needs to do it themselves, and for many reasons. They don't want the backlash coming back to them.
Right.
Plus the actual intent of what is really wanted has to come directly from the person.
Right.
Personally, shouldn't be done. But that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, and I hurted us. I am so sorry. But I will help those who want to create a win-win situation. If they visit me at cindycarver.info or at Stars Psychics, I will help them create a win-win situation just to pay for the reading, no additional charges. I don't believe in doing spell work, but I will help you create a win-win situation for the cost of a reading.
Well,
but back to
continue with this, but that's not the topic. See, this is why I have to keep bringing you back, because we just keep jumping here. Let's get back to, if you do want to touch if the totems. Something that you mentioned in the beginning of the show, which is half over now. Time goes quick. Spirit guides.
Spirit guides.
We're comparing them to spirit guides. So, what is the difference? Because most times when we think of, our guide, our spirit guide, or guardian angels, are what we think of as being with us all the time, watching everything. So what is the difference? When does the animal totem step in and, take over for the spirit guides?
I find in my own life, my guide and I totem work hand in hand together. Oftentimes, my animal is a service animal to my guide. It assists whatever I need. That, and I was needing to change my way of teaching, and the rattlesnake showed up. That was probably about 18 years ago, because I really had a time with that totem. The guy I use, or at times I channel to help with my teachings, he would bring forth the totem, and the totem and him will work together to transmute the energy around me so that I could use it in a healthy, beneficial way. Think a child going into kindergarten. They're holler, they're different age some that
Uh-oh.
And Eric, I'm being told in the chat room nobody's been able to view the show this entire time. All they keep seeing is commercials. They all have kept refreshing.
Well, we are broadcasting.
Okay.
And we just lost Cindy. I had to get her back.
Yeah.
You there, Cindy?
Sorry about.
You gotta love technology.
Are you there? Is she back? Because I'm not seeing her.
Yeah, she's back.
Okay. Hello. No?
Oh, well, maybe not. Getting her back. And who specifically says they can't see anything? So the weather finally calmed down for you, Misha?
No. We got the massive winds. Got a 1/4 inch of snow, just enough to cover the grass, just a less, winter hurrah. Just because the calendar says it's spring, wanted to let us know it's not ended.
Yeah. Still trying to get Cindy back. I'm not quite sure what happened. Dialing her right now. Misha, where can people find you?
Sorry, Cindy was chatting in the chat room, wondering what was going on, so I was answering her. While we're waiting for Cindy to return.
Hi.
Hi. I didn't realize that they were saying in the chat we weren't on the air, so I wasn't quite sure what was going on here. Sorry. You back now? We lost you
Cindy?
again?
Cindy?
Cindy?
There you are. Can you hear
Cindy?
us?
We lost you again.
No, she's still there. Cindy, are you there? Hello?
Cindy? It booted her all the way out. Okay,
She's still there.
she hears fuzz and only and not me, she's saying.
Well, that's gonna have to be a Skype issue because I could hear her over here fine. I don't know. Who knows? May have just had a tree fall on New York. Who knows?
It's my win, but except I'm not the one. I'm coming through fine. I want to welcome all the new faces out there. Thanks for coming. And you can find me on Facebook, Tara by Misha. My website is tarabymisha.com. It's in the cards. Also has a Facebook page. You want to sign up and hit on that, the like. I have been getting a little lazy and lax doing the event invites because it's giving me corporate tunnel doing it, since you have to do the invite and then add each individual person, doing hundreds of people each and every week to get the event invites sent out has started acting up with my wrist and my elbow. Cindy, are we back yet?
No, I'm just dialing her, Misha.
Oh, okay. I saw two hiccups on the screen. So I'm not going to be regularly on top of sending out events for the show each week, so be sure to find It's in the Cards on Facebook so that you can get the notifications of the posts and the reminders that way for when they don't go out. So,
There you
hello?
are. Are you back? Cindy, can you hear us?
Cindy? She did say she had to use her old machine. So that could be the issue.
Working on it. Cindy, can you hear us?
Cindy? You're on. You're a spinning dot right now. I know Cindy's been doing a lot of weddings lately. We had talked about that a little bit on the last show, which can be found in the archives. She was on to end the month since January, February, and March. She's been my end of the week guest for each month this year. Couple questions that I am personally always asked. Cindy, are you there? No? All right, we will have to, we can't get her in, we'll have to have her back.
Cindy, are you there? Okay, let me call you back, Cindy. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, we just lost her, Misha. I think we might want to...
We're done, yeah. I touched on this briefly the other week when I had Title on with me. The Schiffer deck from Richard Shadowfox, the Tarot of the Night. There was a reason that I did not put this away and left it sitting here. It was known that I would need this. I haven't directly gotten into this deck fully. Just showed it briefly during 2 shows. This is a larger than normal size with the cards. You can see the reader weight up against tad bigger on the edges. So it's a bit of a handful. And I don't have really that small of a hand. This is the back of the cards. The box photo that is displayed is the star card. Here's the card, and here's the box. That's what they put on the lid. It's their regular treasure box, as I started nicknaming them. Schiffer's name is for. Right back.
I am.
Hi, welcome back.
Hello. It looks like I don't have video this time, but I do have voice.
We can hear you. That is fine.
Good.
We were discussing about the difference with the animal totem and the spirit guides and why the animal totem may take over or show up and assist or whatever it is that they do.
Okay, the hummingbird, Joy. If you're in kindergarten, you want to learn your symbols. You want to learn to make your A's. You want to learn make your numbers, and you have fun doing this. And the joy guide that shows up a lot of times is your hummingbird, and your joy guide is your when a spiritualist talks about a joy guide, they're referring to the guardian, the angelic being or the spiritual being that allows you to have fun and to instigate your having fun. A lot of times hummingbird will show up also. and you will see this around kindergartners or preschoolers when they go and they want to learn, and you just see them sprouting and having all kinds of joy. When we lose a loved one, sometimes, and I know spiritualists will disagree with me, but I know sometimes you will be given a new joy guide because what brought you joy before no longer brings you joy. So your guides shift, your outer band comes in, your inner band steps back, and you begin experiencing new types of joy. Where you, say, once may have really liked going and doing bluegrass, and then when your spouse dies, your companion for the bluegrass festivals and stuff, now you find that you enjoy doing rock and roll because now you're getting new friends who do rock and roll, and it's a new form of enjoyment. Did I just talk in circles, or did that make sense?
That made sense. But bunch of questions come into mind with it all. Maybe kind of off topic, but hey, that's the way we go. You never know what we're going to blurt out there. But when you mentioned, like in death and somebody passing,
Mm-hmm.
what's about incidences where maybe a bird comes around, or I know, personal incidents where a butterfly is coming around and then actually flew right in and landed on the person. Those times that it happens, it tends to feel to the people that it's the actual loved one.
Right.
So what exactly, is it different from case to case, Indeed Lee, or is it the same across the board? Is it the actual loved one? Is it the loved one that sent it? And why the particular animal? Is it the spirit guide they're in touch with that's ours, or the one that was theirs? What's up with that?
My sister-in-law passed this past year. She was a fanatic about the color purple. This takes us away from the spirit people and the totems. After she passed, whenever she was trying to make herself known, we would see purple semis, we would see purple trucks, we would see purple cars. Things that we normally did not see, purple, all of a sudden was purple. I mean, all the way down to going down the highway and seeing one billboard that had nothing on it but purple. There was no words, no picture, just purple. And that was her way of coming back and saying, I'm still alive. I'm on the other side. I'm still alive. So when they see a butterfly and that butterfly lands on them and they feel it is a loved one, I believe it possibly is. A butterfly is the other animal of transmutation. Well, actually, it's more like transformation because you go from the caterpillar and into beautiful butterfly. So that to me would mean you go from death to, say, resurrection on the other side, and you come back and you touch your loved ones by being a beautiful butterfly. Or, did they come back? Did they say, when you see a hawk, that will be me? Or when you see a barn sparrow, that will be me? If they told you before they left that they were going to use this as a symbol to show you that they were alive on the other side, doesn't matter whether it could be a totem. This is where spirits on the other side are showing us physical phenomena in one way, that they are still here, that they still are among us. Totems usually do not feel like your loved ones. There's a totally different energy about them. They feel like a helper.
Okay. So basically, like, you know, people laugh at this because, you know, you walk down the street and you always see coins. But I myself know when a coin's just a coin, or that penny was sent from whoever.
Right.
Yep, pennies from heaven. And I'll know which relative is just, you know, doing it to say, hi, I'm around watching whatever. So I guess that, when you're saying it's the feel of it, you mean that's the kind of thing you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes. I have a teacher, my teacher, and I still go to her because she has more experience than I, so I figure I can always learn from her. And she has a guide that will literally drop brand new coins all over her living room floor. Now, if it's an old coin, she figures she probably dropped it. But if it's a bright new shiny dime, quarter, nickel, penny, she knows that this specific guide dropped it. And the other day, this guide even left her a brand new dollar bill. She says, I haven't seen a brand new dollar bill, let alone have it dated. I guess it was 2014, 2013. But anyway, the date on it was like new. So.
Right. I remember a time, it was a few years ago. I'm trying to think if it was the first Christmas after my grandmother passed or a few years later. I was doing, the last minute straightening up, running the vacuum cleaner before all the company comes and you've been cooking all day. And I had just cleared out everything that might have been on the floor that got dropped or was organized, so I could run the vacuum cleaner. There was nothing there. I'm running the vacuum cleaner. I stopped dead because right in the middle of the floor, out of nowhere, all of a sudden was a shiny penny.
There you go.
So when I say, you find a coin or whatever, knowing who sent it, that's what I meant. I knew, that was my grandmother.
Right. And it has a different feeling than if it was another entity or another spirit.
It does. It absolutely does. Spirit guides. Spirit guides are not allowed to interfere, right?
That's one belief.
Some believe they're here to direct and guide, and that it's the angels that cannot interfere at all. What's your belief with being the Native American?
I was not taught about angels. I was only taught about guides. And we have master teachers. We have those who help us with our health, that help us with our belief system or our philosophy, those that bring us joy, those that protect us, and those who teach us. And teaching and philosophy are really close, but the difference is the master teacher that teaches you in this lifetime is a higher vibration, say maybe 12th dimension instead of 5th or 6th dimension of your helpers. But I believe that when you came into this life, you had a city of angelic or spirit people that were willing to help you do the best you could during this life to clear up your karma, to clean up your energy system, to help you grow spiritually. When you think of doing all of this by yourself, it can get overwhelming.
Right.
I mean, why? If I thought I had to do all this without anybody's help, why bother? It would be overwhelming and I wouldn't be able to do it. But I know that when I do hands-on healing, my body is the channel, that my spirit people are the ones who is directing the healing. They know where that healing needs to go in the other person. They're the ones who drop into my head that you had the issue with the water. So they showed me, what the root issue was. And while, we did not work on it any further, you were able to drink more water. So I can't say I do the healing. I say my guides do it because I feel they know more than I do.
Right. We're running out of time.
I can't.
Okay.
I apologize for my bad webcam. I thought it was going to be a good service to us tonight. But my brand new computer decided to quit. So I am talking with Acer and trying to get them to fix it.
Okay, well, things happen. That's live shows for you. You never know what's gonna occur. Let everybody know how they can get a hold of you before we call it an evening.
You can reach me at Cindy Carver, CARV as in Victor, ER.info. And you can reach me at stars with a Z, psychics with an S.com. And how can they reach you, Misha?
Tarot by Misha.com. Tarot by Misha on Facebook. And they want to get the Facebook page for the show. It's in the cards. And hit like, because when we were trying to get you back, I was explaining how with, on the computer so much, my wrist has been acting up, my elbow, plus the back injury that I had last month. Didn't help it. But when you do the events now with Facebook, you have to sit there and click on each individual name that you want to send it to.
Oh,
and
no.
It's flaring up my entire arm. The chiropractor, I asked him about it last week because at first it was something, with my back off, and he said, no, I'm developing tennis elbow. So I have to, cut back on some of that stuff. So it's going to get posted, and on occasion, events will go out. So that's why that didn't go out this month. You're probably wondering. But we have to call it a night. Thank you so much for joining me.
For having me.
And I hope everybody has a fantastic, wonderful week. And I'll see you next Wednesday. And it'll be April already. Have a great night and a wonderful week, everybody. Bye-bye.